featured show. Okay, this is a featured show. So I'm going to ask everybody to be super respectful in the chat box, be respectful of myself, of my guests, respect everyone's times. And if you want to be part of the conversation, that is totally cool with me. I actually prefer it. I love when you're part of the conversation. Just write your questions on your input in the comment box. Just please be respectful towards everybody, because this is a uplifting, inspiring, aspiring featured hour. Okay. Second disclaimer is, if you do not see me or hear me address you individually, there is a reason for that. Reason being, the featured shows are, we have a format that we have to follow, which means that I can't individually tell you thank you such and such for the gift or for the heart, but I do want you to know that I will make pauses, I will take breaks to say thank you to everybody, to give shout outs accordingly. And I do want you to know that my comment box is open, so I do see everybody coming in. I see it, Connor, Tris, morning. I see everybody coming in right now. Thank you for being here. And I do see you. I do see the hearts, the gifts, absolutely everything. Just because I don't acknowledge you right away during the featured hour doesn't mean that I don't see you or that I'm not grateful, because I truly am. And last but not least, I do want to let you know that whoever is my top gifter of the entire show towards the end of the featured hour will automatically become my newest bouncer, just as a thank you for being here, for sharing your good vibes, your, spending your diamonds on the show. Of course, that's always appreciated. Just a thank you from me to you for being here, okay? So, with that said, I also want to remind you that if you're new on here, if you don't know me, and you're vibing with the show, with who I am, please hit the favorite button. It's free, and it helps all of us if we favor one another. So, thank you so much for being here once again, you guys. This is a featured hour that happens here every Tuesday. This show is called Own It. And basically, the intention with Own It is, as the title says, I want to share with you my story, and not only my story, but also the story of my guests, with the intention of you and I becoming the best versions of ourselves. And the way that we do that, in my opinion, is through owning who we are, truly owning who we are. The good, the bad, the in between, the ugly, the beautiful, but we all have a story that is worth sharing. And as long as we own it, then we can make moves and we can be successful and grow, which is the most important thing. So luckily, we have an amazing live streaming community on here on this platform that will help us do that, right? So I want to welcome you. Thank you for being here today. I invite you to connect with me on Instagram. And basically, on Own It, every single Tuesday I have a different topic that I discuss with both my guests. I have two amazing guests today. One of my guests I know very well, the other one I don't know so much. So I'm excited to talk to both because based on their well, one of them I already know, and many of you already know, but the other one, based on his bio, thank you. He seems to be very awesome as well, and all about my vibe. So I'm really excited to talk to him. Hello, thank you, thank you. So, with that said, I want to share with you guys what the topic of the day is today. And it's a very simple one, but if you know me, you know there's very aligned with who I am. And the reason for that is because I want to spread more positivity on this app. I believe that we have a lot of positivity already, but I keep hearing of people having bad experiences and things like that, and I just want to spread more positivity. I want all of us to connect and inspire and uplift each other. So the topic of today's show is leaving a mark, leaving a positive mark, of course. And I'm going to be talking about that with both my guests today. So if you're new on here, I want to welcome you again. Welcome to Own It. Welcome to this featured hour with me, that Cuban girl. This show happens exclusively on the Meet Me live streaming community every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And today we have two amazing guests who are going to be joining me. So my first guest today, I'm excited to introduce him. He is no stranger to Own It. It's someone I know very well here on the app. He's kind of the papa of many people. And he doesn't need a lot of introduction, but he is a dad, he's a streamer, he's a singer, guitarist, and he coaches people on in forgiveness and communication. Please, everybody, welcome to Own It, Papa Bear.
Hey, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. How are you?
I'm good. I haven't been streaming from my computer for a while because it's a little more work. So I've been doing mostly off of my phone. So it's kind of like, oh man, hopefully it works.
It sounds great. Is it because you do OBS usually?
Yeah, well, I like to do OBS, so I do that on my computer. But lately I've been lazy, and I got a tripod, I got a phone. There I am.
I see. Well, I can hear you perfectly well, and welcome to the show. I forget how many times you've been on the show already.
I think we're at maybe 4 or 5, and I've got in my schedule October 22nd. No, October. Man, I just had it because when you were talking about your 2-year anniversary, I was like, let's just see what my calendar says. And it was like 2022 was
August.
your first show. Was it August?
No. My first show was early September, October, I believe.
Yeah, because I think I was one of your first, like early on. And the first one I see here is October 11th of 2022. So you definitely been on since then.
Yeah. I have to go back. I just can't remember if the one that I had you on was pre-featured hour or after. I can't remember.
Oh yeah.
Because I think you did one of the 6 episodes for me.
Yeah, I did one of the pre-featured episodes, and I was like, yeah, but we'll have you back. I'm like, cool. And then you kept having me back, which is cool.
And then you've been back ever since. I love it though. I love having you on the show, and I love that new people can meet you. And so with that said, introduce yourself. Tell everybody who you are.
Yeah, so I go by Papa Bear Sings because I'm a dad. So I got that Papa energy. And when I have 2 kids, and one is biological and one is not, and we wanted them both to have a same name. And my stepdaughter had a dad, and so that was her dad. And so we weren't going to use dad because we didn't want my son calling me dad and her calling me yeah. So we came up with Papa as the name they both could call me, which was cool. So I've been Papa for decades, and Bear because we'll just say Bear, obvious, and then Sings because that way people will be like, Papa Bear Sings. Oh, do you sing? Oh, sure do. Here, you want me to come up and sing a song for you? Okay. And I started streaming because I actually had something called chronic pain syndrome. I had a weird immune response to a flu shot, and it put me out for like 8 months. Couldn't play guitar, couldn't play drums. I was just in misery, and I ran across Live, and it was like, this is interesting. And I just start checking out people's lives, and then at some point people would notice I had a guitar in my profile and were like, come up and sing. I was like, okay. And then they're like, you're good, you should stream. Okay. And then so August 6th, I think it was, of 2021 started streaming.
Has it been ever since?
One more time.
How has it been streaming since you started?
It's been all over the place. It's kind of depends on real life, for lack of a better word, throws at me. With everybody else hurting with the economy, about 4 months ago, I picked up a part-time job near my house. It's funny, it's a soda and sugar candy store, and I'm a type 2 diabetic, so that's fun. So I've been working.
Hold on. How do you deal with that?
I at first it was like, well, I'll just willpower and I'll just be strong. And then it was like, oh, but I want to try this one because that way I can tell people what it tastes like. And all of a sudden I'm like eating whole candy bars, and I'm like, this is not going to work. My doc is not going to be happy. And so that I do a special diet that helps with keeping the diabetes under control. And then I just have fun with the fact that I'm a diabetic working in a candy store. People get a good chuckle out of that. But it also wears me out a lot of times. So my streaming has gone down in the last few months just because of that. And also, my mom had some health issues, and then she passed, unfortunately, 2 weeks ago. So we're in the process of going through all that planning still. And because she was down in Florida, and we're moving back up here for the funeral, and
I'm so sorry
it's
about that.
complicated. Thank you. And it's, you know, it's one of those where sad to see her go, also glad to see her out of pain. That's a big one right there. Is she was close to 90. Her kidneys didn't work. She had congestive heart failure. She had some other issues, and she really wanted to keep pushing. She wanted to hit 90. When I told her when my dad passed 5 months before their 60th wedding anniversary, I said, she's like, oh, I just wanted us to get to 60. And I'm like, Mom, it's like 58 or 59 years married and 8 months, round up. Just call it 60, Mom. It's close. No one's going to go back and say, well, you know. So I'm in my brain, I'm telling her up in heaven, like, Mom, round up. You made it to 90. You're close.
Yeah, I'm so, so sorry for your loss, but I'm sure that you lived many amazing experiences. I mean, not everyone gets to have their parents for that long. So it's a
Yeah. And she's one of the 3 people who literally saved my life, in that there was a period of time where I was staying at her place for long reasons, but I was sick. I was not feeling well. And I'm like, I think I'm just going to go to bed now and get up in the morning, but I'm like sweating. And she's like, you don't look healthy. Should I take you to the, doctor, emergency room? I'm like, I don't know. I can't decide. My brain's all fuzzy. And she's like, I think I should take, I said, do the nurse triage thing, call them. And she calls them. They're like, oh yeah, bring them in. Brought them in. The doc said if I'd gone to bed that night, like my plan was to just like sleep it out, I wouldn't not have woken up, because that's how bad I had a urinary tract infection that spread to my kidneys and my blood, and I wouldn't have made it had I gone to bed. So I have her to thank for being here. One of 3. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so with that, you have I mean, you and I have talked throughout the last 2 years that we've known each other about many different things. I know a little bit about your kids and about your story, but what's like one thing that you think has changed in the last, besides your mom passing, something that has changed in your life that maybe has truly shaped you lately in the last couple of months that you want to share?
Yeah. In fact, it came up. I went out for lunch with a friend today, and we haven't talked in a couple of years. So I was catching him up on my life. And there's another streamer on here that I have a wonderful, wonderful relationship with. In my world, anybody I talk to says, oh, so you 2 are dating. And I'll be like, technically no, because in her world, putting a label on it, like that we're dating or that we're, in a whatever, she enjoys what we have. I enjoy what we have. So it's kind of like that. We're not going to name it, but we hang out, we chat, blah, blah, blah. But she's been in my life for almost as long as I've been streaming, like over 3 years. We've known each other. And she's been a constant force of support. We'll just say, yeah, she's been an amazing support in my life. One of the things I had an awful habit of was overthinking, because she also lives in another country far away. So it's hard to always connect. And there'd be times where it's like, I hadn't heard of her for a day or 2. And it's like, okay, I've got to just trust that everything's okay until I hear otherwise. And then she's been really good at, working with me on that. But most importantly, helping me, because I deal with some PTSD from some childhood issues. And there was a period of time about a year or so ago where I just had a flashback, and I went very victim-y, like, oh, my life, it's not fair. Yeah, it's just being a complete victim about it. And she got annoyed, and she's like, I'm a little annoyed. I'm like, but you don't understand, victim. And she goes, I don't understand. Why don't you just fight? I went, yeah. And from anybody else, I probably have been like, you know, you don't know what you're talking about. For her, it was like, okay, I know this person loves me. I know this person wants what's best for me. I'm not fighting. I could actually stand up for myself better and not go to victim about what happened in the past, and I'm still dealing with it decades later.
Mhm.
I could say, what can I do today to make a difference in my life, regardless of what happened to me in the past? And it's amazing how we're now at the point in my world, relationship, and it is, everybody's in a relationship. You and I have a relationship. It's friends over time, but I used to get like really impatient with her and overthink a lot, and she's just been a constant force for good for me. And I'm finding myself not getting impatient with her and with other people too. I'm less impatient. I'm less likely to get all annoyed, and I attribute a lot of that to her.
That's beautiful because that's the whole point of being. Thank you for the spotlight. That's the whole point of being having friendships, connections, partners, right? Hopefully, they're in your life to inspire you, uplift you for positive and good things. If it's any other way, then that's not the right friendship or relationship for you. So it's amazing that she's taught you patience. I That's something that I have had to learn myself in my own journey. So I totally get it. I want to make a quick pause right now to welcome everybody who's just tuning in. Welcome to Own It. Thank you for being here. I so appreciate you, your time, your energy. I know that the most valuable thing we have is our time. So the fact that you guys are watching and you're being part of the conversation makes me really happy. So thank you. Thank you for the spotlight. And I'm going to be doing shout outs in just a little bit. But right now, I'm talking to my first guest, a dear friend of mine here on the online streaming community. Papa Bear, he's amazing, very wise, very talented, very uplifting. And today's topic of the show on Own It is leaving a mark, and what positive mark, right? I believe that especially as streamers, as people on social media, but even as human beings, it's really important to know how to leave a positive mark on the world. So I want to ask you, Papa Bear, how do you leave a mark every day?
You know, it's interesting. And the biggest one, going back to the papa, is with my kids. My grandfather, my dad's father, was a mean, awful person in a lot of ways, and was physically abusive. And it left he left a mark on my dad. It was not a good one. And my dad struggled with being a good dad. He did amazing. He had his flaws, like everybody does. When I found out more about his childhood, and that made such a mark on me. Like, he made a choice to be a different dad than he had, and I was so proud of my dad for the work he had done. To, here's where his dad was. He brought it up, and then when it was my turn to be a dad, I could bring it up even more. And I was talking about it with my son, and I was like, you know, grandfather was a mean sob, and but he made my dad a better dad. He made my dad then made me a better dad. He goes, so does that mean I'm going to be a better dad than you? I was like, I hope so. That would be my greatest, joys, if you were a better parent than I was. And that's one way I know for both my kids. I've made a mark, an impression, a positive one on both of them. And another is, I hope more so in the future, my music, the music I share with people. I would like to do more of that, but I'm a live performer, and it's just COVID kind of knocked the feet off from a lot of us live performers, like live in person out in the real world performers. And a lot of places that were doing live music shut down their venues or shut down where they did the live music because it was just too complicated. And then they realized, well, we haven't been doing it for 2 years. We seem to be doing okay. We're not going to start it up again. But I was going to make the request to do a song before I'm done with the end of this. One of the songs I wrote that has a message I would love to be something that leaves a mark for people.
Well, talking about that, you're going to love the quote of the day that I chose because it has everything to do with what you just mentioned. Um, yeah, it's super important to leave a mark on people because ultimately, when we're no longer here, that's what people are going to remember about us, and hopefully, we helped and we made a difference in people's lives, and it's super important. Um,
Well, it reminded me something about what you just said. Reminded me too, because when um, in 2013 there was a third attempt in Minnesota to create a law that would make remove the statute of limitation for childhood sexual abuse, so people could then take legal action if they needed to or felt inclined, if that was going to help them and their healing. But a lot of us, we couldn't do anything because the statute of limitations was 6 years. Not 6 years from when you figured it out or realized you're hurt, which is the way the law was written. The Supreme Court of our state said, no, if you're a kid, you've been harmed if you were abused. Therefore, when you turn 18, that's when the statute of limitations starts. So you had to figure out by 24 that it affected you and that it affected you negatively. And a lot of survivors, we don't come to terms with it. We don't even figure it out. I suppressed the memory until I was in my 40s, late 40s. So there's no way, the way this law was being interpreted, that I would ever be able to do anything about it. But
I can hear you.
Is that me?
I think so. It wasn't me. Hi, my loves. Welcome to Own It. I think it's feedback, Papa Bear. Welcome to Own It, everybody. Welcome to this featured hour with me, that Cuban girl. Today, the topic of the day is leaving a positive mark, and I'm talking to my first guest, a dear friend of mine on here, Papa Bear. And did you fix it?
I turned off. It was my external speaker was making. I think we were picking up something from somewhere, and it. So I just turned off my external speaker and then put on my headphones so I can hear you fine. But
it's been happening during the feature shows that there's audio. What's the word? It crosses.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't have, this is like literally I have OBS and my mixer and this one browser window are the only things open on my computer. So there's no reason anything else.
Well, that's okay. It happens. But Papa Bear, that's amazing. I love your story, and you've been really open with your story and things in other shows that we've talked. But I actually very recently had a friend of mine also share with me that something triggered a memory as well. And he's way younger than you, but it's still one of those things where how do you go so many years without remembering, right? It's like you block things.
Well, yeah, and the brain does an amazing job, and it also gives us little hints along the way. So, like for example, when I was in my 20s, I was watching CNN. I think it was like news of the war, and I dissociated. And also, my wife at the time came in. She's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "I what?" And I would have been like hitting my hand against the chair that I was sitting on. It was a wooden arm, and I was like, she heard like this pounding, and I looked up, and on the TV was the face of the person who, because he had been doing it to a lot of people, and it just became national news at some point. And I went, huh, that's a weird reaction I have to seeing his face on TV. Maybe, well, no. And then I went through a long period of, if it happened, surely I would remember. And then I found out, no, not always. And it wasn't, like I said, until I was in my 40s that something happened that had me think, yeah, I think something did happen. And it opened the door in my brain to like, yeah, we're ready for you to remember some. And I remember just enough to know what happened, but not all the gory details that, I wasn't re-traumatized by the memory. We'll put it that way.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Yeah, well, yeah, it's a difficult subject, but thank you for being open. And because when you're open about those things with people, it can help other people as well.
Exactly. When I was a public speaking instructor, I would talk about, there are things you can talk about up here as a public, when you do your speeches, and there are things you shouldn't talk about. if you were, for example, in my case, and I would tell them, I was abused when I was, 14, blah, blah, blah. I tell them the story. I said, I can talk about that. I can do a speech about that because I've done a lot of work to heal. I'm not done, but it's not going to be like I'm standing up here having a therapy session with you all and sharing this raw, unfiltered pain. I'm sharing something that's going to matter. And that's why I would bring it up. And every time I talk about that during a class, one person, usually male, would come up because a lot of guys just, they don't feel like they can talk about it because, for a lot of guys, it's like, well, women aren't believed. They're certainly not going to believe me as a man. Mm-hmm. And so, but they'd come up and they'd be like, that thing you were talking about earlier about, topics, and they just gesture like they can't even talk about it yet, but they want someone else to know. And so it's helpful. I know that's why I do share it, and I'll share it in my stream, and I'll talk about the healing journey of forgiveness, because I did a lot of work on forgiveness, and there is a lot of bleed over. Like, it's not coming through my mic now, at least, but
that's okay. I can hear you fine.
Yeah, it's like somebody's watching cartoons on another stream, and it's like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. Well, that's amazing, Papa Bear. So, okay, so what's another way that you're leaving a mark, like, for example, here on the streams right now?
Part of it is, again, like, well, we'll talk about these issues. When I stream, I usually say, chill chat, live music and chill chat. And it leaves the door open. I'll do music, and sometimes it'll come up, especially if there's songs that I do that relate to healing or forgiveness. And people will be like, yeah, but how do you, and they'll just be so hanging on to the anger they have that they can't let go of that and move forward. And they're stuck in the anger. And anger can be useful at times, especially early on, but it's got to be something that you're able to utilize as a tool, as opposed to it's what's driving the bus, as it were.
Yeah, I love that. Well, thank you, Papa Bear. Is there anything else you want to shout out before I bring you back later?
No. Can I do the song at some point, either now or later?
Yeah. No, you can do it now if you want.
Cool.
Yeah.
I just happen to have a guitar right here.
Great. I love it. Thank you for that. Make sure that you'll favorite Papa Bear, you guys.
All right, here we go. This is called Don't Should on Yourself. And when I do the song, I always announce what the title is, because when I sing the line, don't should on yourself, during the song, it doesn't sound like I'm saying should. It sounds like something else. We all have things in life that we wish we would have handled differently. But if wishes were fishes, we'd all cast nets. Better to live without regrets. If you could have done it differently, you would have done it differently. And don't should on yourself. If you could have done it differently, you would have done it differently. Don't should on yourself. You wish you knew then what you know now. We would have made things better somehow. You can run from your life, but you won't get far. But wherever you go, there you are. If you could have done it differently, you would have done it differently. Don't should on yourself. If you could have done it differently, you would have done it differently. Don't should on yourself. You're in a hurry to worry all day long about everything that might go wrong. But worries like interest, don't you know that you're paying on the debt you might not owe. If you could have done it differently, you would have done it differently. Don't should on yourself. If you could have done it differently, you would have done it differently. Don't should on yourself.
I love that. Amazing.
Thanks.
Did you write that, or?
I did. It started with an expression I like to use called, because people are like, oh, I should have did this. I should have did this. And some of the work I did said, there's no should. We do what we do when we do it because that's what we could do. If we could have done it differently, we would have done it differently. And I was like, yeah, so we should not should on ourselves. And I was going for the irony there. And so I had that phrase, don't should on yourself for a long time, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh hey, that could work as a song. And I just pulled, a lot of stuff from different places that I'd read about stuff, and yeah, it's one of my favorite songs that I've written.
I love that. Yeah, it's very true. I love that. Well, thank you so much, Papa Bear, for sharing your insights and your story and your energy and your songs with us. I'm going to be bringing you back in a few minutes, okay?
Sure, I'll be here.
Okay, thank you for being here. Well, you guys, I love that. Oh, thank you. Cheers. Welcome to Own It, everybody who's just here. Oh, Marty. Hi, Marty. Everyone who's just tuning in, welcome to Own It. This is the featured hour with me, that Cuban girl. This feature show happens here every single Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And the main intention with Own It is for you and I to become the best versions of ourselves through owning the uniqueness of who we are, because we're all unique and we all have a story that is worth sharing. So in this space, in this featured hour, that's what we do. My guests and I share our stories based on a topic of the day, and today's topic is leaving a positive mark, because I believe that both my guests have left a positive mark, but we also do in our own lives every single day. And I think we should, and especially as streamers and having a community on here, it is kind of a responsibility to leave a mark on people. To, in my case, this is why I do Own It, because I love just instilling positivity, good vibes, inspiration with all of you. And yeah, guys, just thank you for being here. I do want to remind you, if you're new on here, hit that favorite button. Also connect with me on Instagram. And if you want to be a guest on Own It, it is on Tuesdays, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Contact my amazing admin Emoji J, and he will add you to the guest list. Everyone's welcome. You don't have to be a top batch. You don't have to be a streamer who's been doing this for a long time. You can just be part of the community and be a guest, and you can join the conversation. Okay, so now before we move along, I want to give some shout outs to people who have been supporting the first half hour of the show. And first, I'm going to go through my comments and kind of give shout outs to people who have favored me, which, by the way, Lucas, thank you. Favorites are important, and I just appreciate you all. So thank you for being here. So shout out to Lucas, shout out to, let me see. Oh, Marty Party, who was just here. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, MC. Thank you so much for your comments. Dan, Trista, everyone who came to support my next guest. I've seen a few people on here, a few usernames with these names, so thank you for being here. Who else? MC, thank you. Goober, thanks for being here. So yeah, you guys, thank you so much for just your energy and for being here with me. Thanks, Scotty, for the favorite. Appreciate you. And now I'm going to go give shout outs to my top gifters of today. And number 3, Marty Party. Number 2, Samami. And number 1, MC. Thank you all. Thank you all. So today on Own It, oh my gosh, thank you. What positive mark will you leave on the world? Is that a question for me, Papa Bear? No, I'm kidding. So this is the topic of the day today. Thank you, Papa Bear, for that. Yeah, before we move along, I want to share with you the quote of the day today that has everything to do with something that Papa Bear touched on earlier. And the quote reads as follows: be the type of person who leaves a mark, not a scar. Be the type of person who leaves a mark, not a scar. Hi, Lugs. Jay is my second guest here because I don't see him. Is he here? So yeah, I wanted to share this quote with you because, yeah, the quote says it all. Leave a mark, not a scar. Leave a mark on people. Don't be out there hurting people. Even your words hurt sometimes, So just be careful with the words that you speak, not just to others, but to yourself as well, because you can also leave scars on yourself without even noticing it. So make sure that we're kind to one another, that we're positive, compassionate towards one another. It's very important. We raise the collective's consciousness when we are kind and compassionate towards one another. And I think that's really important for all of us. So let me see. Okay, he's here. Perfect. My second guest is here. So yeah, you guys, welcome to Own It. If you want to be a part of the show, contact Emoji J and make sure you favorite, follow me on Instagram. I post on Instagram every single day. I do a lot of things and it'll be really cool for us to connect on there. So I am going to continue to welcome my second guest of the stream. Let me see. He's a positive streamer with great vibes. I mean, obviously, every single one of my guests has great vibes. Okay, that's given. He has great music mood. No, wait. He has great music in his streams for you to unwind in. Please, everybody, welcome to Own It. I hope I'm saying this right. Lumby? Lumby.
Good evening.
Hi, how are you?
I am blessed with the joy of living. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Is it Lumpy? How do you say it?
Yes, ma'am. Correct.
Lumpy, perfect. So introduce yourself a little bit to everybody, Lumpy.
Okay, so for the ones that don't know me, my name is Biggie Lumby. I do stream every day, multiple things. Sometimes we have a little pajama stream. Sometimes we do a little cooking streams, but it's always great music, positive vibes, and just kind of a place where you can come and just wind down after a long day and just kind of get things off your chest.
I love that. So, okay, how long have you been streaming and why did you start streaming? I'm just curious.
The end of this month will be 15 months. And I came to the app because for so many years going through a narcissist marriage, I wasn't allowed to have friends. And so this was kind of like a way to rebuild myself.
Wow. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm sorry. I'm sure that you grew from that, right?
Absolutely.
So you found the app and then you decided to stream just because you wanted friends?
Well, when I found the app, it was really just to kind of have something to do to occupy free time because, at the time there was just a lot of boredom going on. So I came on and was watching streams and it kind of gave me the urge to want to stream myself because I knew that I had a lot of great energy and that people could pick up on it. So I gave it a shot and it's just been taken up and taken off like a jet ever since.
I love that. Well, welcome to it. I mean, I know you've been on it for a while, but it's nice to meet you.
Likewise.
You're one of the few that I actually don't know anything about, so it'll be really cool to get to know you a little bit more. I know you mentioned that you like positive streams and positive vibes. Why do you think that's important to you on here?
I like the positive streams and the positive vibes because it gives you the chance to interact with multiple people on different levels. Because not everybody's going to have the exact same vibe, but at the same time, we can find a commonality, this makes us all unique in our own special way to where, when you're building a friendship with someone that's new, it's like your connection with that person is not going to be the same with each and every person else.
Yeah, I love that. So what has been something challenging that you want to share, of course? Something challenging that you've gone through that has helped you in this journey lately?
A lot of people that come to my stream, they know that I'm actually battling brain cancer.
You're
And so
what?
it's like battling brain cancer.
Oh, still?
Yes, ma'am. Fourth time around.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
And it's just it's that connection with everybody. They see that I kind of let and show each and every day that hey, no matter what your disability is, whether it's mentally, emotionally, physically, we never let it define who we are. You know,
Hmm.
there's always that positive road that you can overcome that situation.
Yeah, most definitely. So with that, what's a day in your life like? How do you mentally deal with that?
Um, Most of the time, my days end up starting with me. Well, I end up ending my life because I stream half of the time until late night hours because of the way that I sleep. So I sleep during the day sometimes. So when I end my stream, I usually am on my way to go get treatment. After treatment, I'll probably come home and I might stream for like an hour or two, take a nap, get back up, and prepare dinner for myself and my sibling. And from there, I just kind of get back on the street and start spreading more positivity. Give people a place to where they know that it's that time for him to come on. I can pull up in there. He's got his music going. I can just unwind from whatever stress I've had that day. If there's something on their chest, they hop in the box. They talk to me. We give each other encouragement, advice, whatever the case is, and we just keep moving forward, having a good time each and every day.
Yeah, and I mean, you're so brave for not just brave, but you're very positive for going through something like that and still showing up and still being here and still being positive and wanting other people, wanting to spread your positivity. That speaks really highly of you. And
Thank you.
yeah, and that's amazing. And well, now you know me, so
Absolutely.
anything you need, I'm here as well as part of your community. Um, but so what's with that, with all those experiences, what's like something that you can tell someone that may be going through something really difficult and it's depressed or it's down?
you know, take time and know pretty much know exactly what you want. Knowing that self worth and just taking it day by day. Sometimes you just got to break it down to minute by minute because what you might be going through at this present moment might be different from an hour later. You know, and when it comes to life, it's just like reading a book. We take and read a book from the front of the book to the end, but very not a person that I've ever met actually goes backwards in life reading a book. So what happened yesterday, we got to find that strength and that ability to put it behind us and move forward and just kind of take on that present time right here, right now. And so it's like, okay, can we change what we done yesterday? No. Can we change what we're doing at this present time? Absolutely. Can we change our future for the better? Absolutely. I mean, it's all about the positivities and that positive road that you just keep going on and chasing. So, on that note, I just kind of help people have that encouragement and that sometimes they just need somebody that's willing to take that opportunity to grab their hand and say, hey, you know what? For instance, Miss Cuban girl, I know you're going through a rough time today. I can see the pain in your eyes, but just know that I'm right here with you. And if you need something, I'm gonna walk that step with you every step of the way. It doesn't matter if it's on this app, if it's off this app. If you need me, just reach out and I'm there. And so that's what I do each and every day.
Thank you, and that's important. That's more than that is something that a lot of people truly need when they're going through difficult times, and other people
Absolutely.
think it's you give people food and water, and that's of course that's super important, but people really want human connection. And
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
hmm let me make a quick pause. Ace March, are you still here? Ace, type one if you're here. um so I really commend you, and I appreciate you for not fighting, I don't want to say fighting, but for showing up, like I said earlier, and being positive. And
Absolutely. I appreciate you having me.
yeah, of course, of course. So what is it, something that you dream of right now?
I'm actually pursuing app wise, I'm pursuing my dream as we speak. And that is to possibly work on becoming one of the next top badges on.
You want to be a top badge?
I do.
What are you missing?
Um, right now, I mean, the numbers come. It's more the phase. The phase is the hardest part. Is networking is that's that first step, and continue spreading the positivity and the positive order that I do and try to give each and every day. Um, it just gets better and better.
Well, everyone on here right now who has not favored Lumby, please go and favorite him right now. I understand what you're talking about because I just got my 5,000 faves 2 shows ago, so I totally get what you mean, but you're gonna get there. You know, you want it. You're doing the work. You're showing up, and that's amazing. And ultimately, if that's a dream that you want to accomplish, you will accomplish it. I'm sure of that.
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Yes, Papa Bear. Everybody favored him, please. And also make sure that you connect with Papa Bear. He's amazing. And yeah, I'm really grateful that you've been here today, that you've been sharing your story. Is there anything you want to shout out? Do you have a show? Do you have an auction?
I do have an auction coming up this coming Saturday with Mr. Fixit. It's 100. It's at 7:55 p.m. It's 100 diamond buy-in. It's a great guy, great friend. So I wanted to kind of help out with it, with his auction because it's his birthday and everything. So I kind of don't mind taking that time to pull up Mr. Fitz, and he's been a great friend to me. He's checked on me numerous times, and so each and every day. So like Saturday, I figured, hey, why not take that time? Yes, yes, yes. And so I just figured I'd take that time and give back because I mean sometimes as you're doing multiple things in life, you just got to stop and just take that second to give back. I've been doing it for just so many years, so it's just like on this app, anybody that ever needs me, I always take that time to stop what I'm doing and give my full attention to them 1,000%.
Yeah, 100%. I love that. Well, thank you so much for being here. I really loved having you on the show.
Hey,
Hopefully,
thank you for having me again. Absolutely.
yeah, hopefully it's not the last time. And I favored you a long time ago since you came on the show. So everybody who's on here, favorite, please, Lumby. Make sure you check out his streams and please stick around because I want to bring you back with Papa Bear in the next couple minutes, okay?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
Thank you. Well, thank you everybody for being here. I wanted to take a quick moment before the feature hour is over to thank you all for your energy, for your gifts, for your hearts, for absolutely everything. I apologize for asking for Ace Marsh earlier. It's just I wanted to give him a message on here, but I don't think he's here anymore. So last show, Ace was my #1 gifter, and so he was supposed to give the bouncing powers to someone, and I wanted to catch him before he left, but I think he left already. But if any of you are on here and you can tell Ace Marsh to come back real quick, I'll really appreciate it. But yeah, so last show he was #1 gifter, and I was asking him to assign the bouncing powers to somebody, but then he left. But anyways, thank you all for being here, for your energy. Today's show's title was important to me because I believe 100% on leaving a mark, leaving a positive mark. We all go through things that no one knows about, and let's just spread compassion and kindness, and like I always say, just be positive towards one another. If there's anything I want you to always remember about me and about Own It, is that you have your story, is worth sharing it, and don't let anybody tell you that your story is less important than anybody else's story. Doesn't matter what your situation is, it doesn't matter how different it is from somebody else. We all have things that we've gone through and that we go through, and not because of that means that that our stories are less important or less valuable. I think we're all brave to be here sharing with each other. Thank you for the favorite, and thank you for telling Ace to come back. Let's see if he does. But yeah, you guys, so basically my tip of the day today when it comes to leaving a mark is just be authentically yourself. This is something that those of you who know me, I've been in entertainment for a long time, and I talk about it all the time. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see I'm very active, modeling and all that stuff. Hi, Ace. Ace, last show, you were the top gifter, and I wanted you to give the bouncing powers to somebody, and you left. So if you want to give the bouncing powers to someone on here, please do. Thanks for coming back. Yeah, think about it for a couple minutes if you have to. But yeah, you guys, so I think it's really important to I lost my train of thought. I lost my train of thought. Sorry. Anyways, I'm going to thank you so much. I'm going to welcome back both my guests. When I welcome back both my guests, well, MC, right now, MC is number one, so she'll get bouncer if she continues number one for the next few minutes. But I need you to give it to somebody else as well, Ace, because you owe me from last show. Or I owe you from last show, better said. Be authentically yourself. Thank you, Papa Bear. Oh my gosh. Yes, it's super important to be authentically yourself. And that's something that I've been battling with in entertainment. I talk about it very often. I don't battle with it anymore, but I used to. Streaming has truly broken me out of my shell when it comes to that. But I used to battle with that so much. And now I just show up as myself. And, you know, you just got to be authentic. So, all right, let me welcome back both my guests, Papa Bear. Oh, Lumby, you're the newest bouncer. Thanks, Ace.
Hey, thank you, Ace. I appreciate you guys.
Of course, it's just a little token just to say thank you for being here. Wait, Lumby, can you write something on the comment box so I can make you bouncer? Where's Papa Bear? Oh, here, there. No, that's not him. Did he leave? Oh, no, he's here. Perfect.
Had a moment of like, why isn't she pulling me up in the, oh, I have to request it. That's right.
Yeah, I was like, where did he go? That's amazing. Lumby, I still don't see your comment.
Yeah, the comments is going so quickly. Here, I'll put a 1.
Okay. Oh,
There we
perfect.
go.
There you are. There you are. Thank you. So you guys, did you guys know each other from before?
Nope.
No.
Oh,
But,
great.
you know, fellow bear.
I've heard great things about him, but I've never got a chance to catch him.
Well, that's amazing. Papa Bear is an amazing person on the app, and I think you guys will really hit it off and be friends moving forward. And so this is why I love featured shows, because we get to really just bring streamers together, and I love that. Papa Bear knows this. But before we go, there's one question that I like asking everybody before the show ends, and that is, what is one thing you can own up about yourself that helps you in your everyday journey?
I enjoy giving back always.
Yeah. And I just want to, before I say mine, I want to piggyback on that one. For those who resist letting others contribute to them, that he just explains why it's so important to let others contribute, because we get joy from contributing and helping others. And so when we say, oh, no, 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 we prevent people from experiencing that joy of giving. But one thing, you know, it's Anzel's voice in my head. That's my sweetie. In my head, hearing, "Smile, big guy." Because when I get serious, or I'm looking up something, I'm in her box, and I'm looking something up. All of a sudden, it's like, and I get this, you know, expression on my face, and she'll be like, "Why so serious? Smile, big guy." And I'll be like, "Oh, sorry, yeah, okay, smile. I can smile. It's okay." And I'll find myself walking my dog, at work, dealing with a difficult customer, and just having that thought of, "Smile, big guy," and like, okay, that's right. In a moment, I can choose to smile.
Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. It's super important, you know. Well, you guys, thank you both for being here on the show today. I have truly enjoyed meeting you, Lumby, and now you're part of the family. And Papa Bear, I've known you for a while. It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, I mean, 2 years. It's like over 2 years we've known each other. Nice.
It's crazy. It's crazy. No, thank you guys so much. And everybody go favorite my guests. Go check out their streams, please. you know, they're amazing, positive men, and I just want us all to stay connected. Lumbie, sending you amazing vibes for everything you're going through,
Hey, thank
and
you.
I know you're going to be amazing.
Yeah, and like you said,
Appreciate that.
Cicely, like with me sharing myself, when you share that story, you know, Lumbie, it for me, it helps me to ground myself to be like, yeah, okay, I got stuff going on in my life. I got this, I got that, I got the annoying customer, I've got the blah blah blah. I don't have brain cancer. And I'm not saying this to pity, but it's like my life could look worse than it does. And so when you talk about your and how you're facing it, it just a little humility creeps in my spirit like, yeah, there's some humility I can look at. So thank you for sharing that story. I mean, about
Hey,
your life,
it's
your
no problem. I
personal.
appreciate it. I mean, I try to share my story pretty much with anybody that, that really truly wants to know who I am. I mean, I've went through some tough things in life. I've been at ground zero and I've been on top of the world. So I mean, I know where both ends look like. And where I'm at today, I mean, even though it's a true battle day by day, I don't let it define who I am. And so, on that part, I just, I take and surround myself with nothing but winners, positive people, and I just keep striving for the top. Whatever I couldn't do good today, I'm gonna do better tomorrow.
Cool. Oh, the one other shout out thing I was going to do is the weekend of the 8th, 9th, 10th, that weekend, that Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I I will probably stream at some point over the weekend just because that Friday is my mom's funeral, and given that it's taking place at the church where I was an altar boy when it happened, it's going to be a rough weekend. So if you see me streaming on the that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the weekend of the 9th, stop in, say hi, even if it's a dark stream, stop in and just say, peace be with you. Um, I'm learning to ask for what I want.
I'll be there.
Amazing.
I'll definitely come through.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Papa Bear. Thank you, Lumbie, for being here, for your energy. I will see you guys very, very soon. Thanks again for being part of the show. Positive
Absolutely.
vibes to both of
Thanks
you.
for having us.
Of course. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
And you guys, thanks so much again to all of you who showed up. Thank you again to both my guests for being here, to all the returning friends, everyone who's always here, and to the new friends. Also, thank you, thank you, thank you. I did not forget to make MC my newest bouncer because, Ace, I owed him from last Tuesday, because how this works is if somebody is my top gifter, but they already are my bouncer, then that person gets to assign somebody that they want who is present in the live on that day, the bouncing powers. So